Right, just a quick one. Right, building the Black nation for reparation. Yeah. I see three forms: an identity cloud uniting the Negro world in the sky and on the ground for reparations for Black enslavement, African colonialism, and the Arab slave trade. Join us. So, organizing for reparations, you need to clarify Black identity, to organize effectively. The most effective organization is a national Black bank for reparations. So the Africans, they have no organization for reparation. So that's why they cannot be in operation, because there's no clarification, only confusion. Yes, confusion about their identification, so they cannot involve themselves in construction for reparation. So the reparation masons will solve will be the solution for the confusion about reparation. Yeah. So you've got to clarify identification for reparation, and a form of to get clarify communication. Yes, the Africans are in confusion about their identification, and that is why they cannot get reparation. Yes, the Africans are in confusion about their own identification. That is why they cannot organize effectively to get reparations. So get with the reparation masons who have a plan. Yes. You need a Black bank for reparations for the nation. See? Yeah. Note the details, yeah. Full Black, 100%. Yeah. Have a look. 3/4 Black, 75%. So you need a national sovereign bank and a sovereign nation to be identified. Yes. Africans have no system for identification, for the unification of Africa. Ask an African, what exactly is an African? Yeah, got no organization. That's why there's no reparation, and the nation is in confusion. Yeah, the nation is in confusion. Because you have no solution, because you have no system. You have no system for reparation or identification. So you need organization from the reparation masons. The reparation masons will organize the concept of the Black nation. Yes, get the idea, get the t-shirt. So every to clarify these issues. Without clarification, you'll stay in confusion. Yes, black people are in confusion because they have no clarification on identification. So learn the language of race and ethnicity. So language, codified language. Yeah. Learn the language. And if you learn the language, then you can have effective communication. You know, what exactly is an African? Yeah. So race and ethnicity is a language. If you don't know the language, then you can't communicate. So who exactly are you expecting to get reparations for? You've got to identify yourself. Yeah. And construct a system. So as long as there's confusion over identification, and you have no system, then you'll go nowhere. And all you'll have is confusion. So the Africans don't know themselves. The Africans don't know themselves. They have no system for communication with the rest of the world in regards to race and ethnicity. See? So you need the reparation masons to add clarification for the nation. And then you have reparation will be on a claim by claim basis. See? So you know exactly who you're talking about and for what exactly. So the Africans, they have no system for identification. So they need the reparation masons to construct the black nation for unification, to cut the confusion and have construction. Yes, the Africans have no language, universal language for identification for the race and the nation. That's why they're in confusion. So they need organization for reparation, for colonialization. Yes, keep it simple, straightforward. Yes, clarify the identification for reparation. Yes, think, stop whinging. Can't organize. Whinging, can't organize. You need to talk to the reparation masons who are building the black nation for negotiation on reparation. You've got to cut a deal for unification. The black reparation masons bring about unification of identification for the construction of the nation, the Black nation. So codification for reparation is a necessary operation. Stop the waffling and dancing. Dance is a time to dance and a time to organize. So talk to the reparation masons who are building the nation, the Black nation, for reparation. Yeah. Sort out the identification of the nation. Sort out the identification for organization of the nation. See? So you won't lose your identification in the organization for reparation. If you have codification, you can cut the confusion. Does that make sense? Cut the confusion by codification for identification of the nation, organization of the Black reparation nation. To cut the confusion whinging, cut the confusion. Know thyself. The Africans don't know themselves. So the reparation masons will teach the Africans the language of race and nation. Yes, because the Africans, they have no system, no codification for identification. And without a system, you're in trouble. Speak to the masons, the reparation masons, yeah, specialists in racial identification, racial and ethnic management. Speak to the reparation masons who are in negotiation for reparations, for colonialization. Speak to the reparation masons. Speak to the reparation masons who will help the Africans sort out the nations, because the negotiations are taking place. Because only the reparation masons know about the construction and conservation of the nation. Talk to the reparation masons. Learn the codification, the global standard of communication and conversation for reparation. If there's no clear communication, there's confusion. Yeah, who and what exactly is an African? The Africans don't know. The Africans don't know themselves. So the reparation masons are here to save the Africans from their confusion. for the construction of a black nation. Yeah, an organization of the African, organization, reparations for the Africans, for reparations. Once they clarify their identifications through codification, no codification, no reparation. All you have is confusion. Know thyself. Speak the international language of identification through codification. Yes? Speak the international language of identification of race and nation through codification. Stop the whinging. Stop the whinging. Learn the system, codification. Yes, the system of codification is international. International. African, know thyself. The Africans are in confusion over identification. That's why they cannot organize effectively. Yes, the Africans don't know themselves. The Africans don't know themselves. So learn the international language of identification through codification. Yes. Learn the international language for the construction of the nation through codification and the financialization of the nation through sovereign identity. The Africans don't know themselves. Ask an African, who or what exactly is an African? Who or what exactly is an African? Ask them. Ask an African. They will not be able to tell you because they have no system of codification. For communication, they have no system of organization. So they need to speak to the reparation masons for the construction of operations to deliver solutions through clarification and codification of identification. Speak to the reparation masons. They'll give you a consultation on identification. Just like Marcus Garvey, the reparation masons are the true and rightful heirs of what Marcus Garvey was building. You have no solution because you have no identification. system for the nation. And that is why the Africans are in confusion and can't sort out their nation for reparations because of the confusion, because they have no codification for communication for the nation. So the reparation nations are built through and by the reparation masons who can construct the nation through codification and identification to counter the confusion. Yes, because the black nation is a solution through codification to cut the confusion. Cut the confusion through codification of the nation. Learn the codes, learn the codes for reparation and organization. You have no identification for the African. So the Africans are in confusion. Because the Africans have no system. What is African identity? Clarify. What exactly is an African? What exactly is an African? See, the Africans don't know. The Africans cannot answer that question. Africans are unable to answer the questions of identification of themselves and their nation. But don't worry, the solution is in the hands of the Masons, the reparation Masons, bringing unification through codification, unification of the reparation for reparations. Yes. So a solution through effective organization for reparation to help the African who does not know himself, to help the African who does not know herself. So speak to the reparation nations. Speak to the reparation masons who are in organization for reparation. Through negotiation. For the financialization of the black nation. The financialization of the identification through the identification of the Black nation, through the identification of the Black nation, giving clarification for communication, for reparation. Yeah. You can't source out. The Africans don't know their identification. The Africans don't know who they are. So the solution will be found with the reparation masons who specialize in construction of the Black nation, for unification of the Africans through identification and the Black identity. Yeah. So each reparation comes through is on a claim by claim basis. Claim by claim basis through negotiation with the other nations and clarification. To build the nation. To cut the confusion. For unification of the African. Stop the whinging and start organizing. And if you don't have an organization model, this is where it can be found. IC3 codification to unite the Africans, to enable the Africans to know and learn themselves, to become aware of themselves. And the codification will give them an opportunity and clarity of identification so they can get involved in communication for reparations. What exactly is an African? Ask an African. Ask them. What exactly is an African? Ask them. They cannot answer the question. The African cannot answer the question. What is an African exactly? What is an African? Can't answer the question. So they're in confusion. And in the confusion, there can be no reparations for colonialization. See? Learn the codification language of race, ethnicity. Learn the international language. Learn the international language in order to communicate effectively.